I'm thrilled that you're joining me here. My name is Marilyn Evans. I'm the founder of Parents Aware and host of the Media Savvy Moms podcast, the podcast that is leading the conversation about parenting and pornography today. I've been thinking about strength lately. We all know that in terms of physical strength, muscles grow as we push just beyond the comfort zone. I have a friend who on New Year's Day posted about an impressive, if not insane, workout she had done with a friend to mark the beginning of 2021. We are talking 2,000 reps, a combination of things like lunges, mountain climbers, burpees, pushups, situps, etc. A few thoughts ran through my mind. What compelled her to do something so crazy hard? How did she get to a place where she could physically complete this task? And most importantly to me was, why was she so happy and excited to share her achievements? For most people, the idea of doing what my friend did sounds really too hard to even attempt, almost impossible. Well, for most parents, the idea of talking to their kids about pornography sounds too hard and almost impossible as well. So we're going to unpack the secrets to building strength today. Not muscle strength, although I've got a couple more analogies there, but parenting strengths and our ability to do hard things. In particular, I want to talk about building strength in areas that we're not so comfortable with right now. We're going to talk about incremental progress and how we can find our rhythm and technique to overcoming challenges. We're also going to talk about finding joy in that challenge and finding strength within our community and among our friends. And finally, we're going to figure out how to celebrate the successes that we have. All right, let's get started. Isn't it interesting what memories stick in our mind from childhood? I remember our elementary school had 2 gymnasiums in it. One was right beside the main office and nearest to where most of the classrooms were. The other was just beyond the library, and whenever we used to go to this second gymnasium, for some reason it felt more like an adventure, probably because we had to walk quite a distance single file. But this gymnasium also had a set of ropes that could be pulled partway across the ceiling and used for climbing. I don't think they do this in schools anymore, I'm not sure, but I always thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, I remember our teachers would on occasion set up various stations around the room, and we would move on rotation to different activities. The ropes were pulled out and kids would line up to take their turn. Some would climb the rope a couple feet, some would only make it a few inches, but once their strength gave out, they would pass the rope to the next in line. Few kids climbed to the top. Probably none on their first attempt, if I can recall, but eventually, as the ropes came out, class after class, 1 or 2 figured it out. I was very impressed. I mean, I had tried to climb and it was not easy. Still, inspired by the possibility that it could be done, I was compelled to conquer the challenge. The details are a little foggy as the years have gone on when and how that came about, but I clearly remember how satisfying it felt when I finally got the hang of it. At first, it was that slow incremental progress, a couple inches higher, maybe another foot at best, but then something happened. It was part improved strength, but also I found my rhythm and my technique. Once it clicked, it really clicked, and I made it to the top. What felt impossible became relatively easy in the end. Our ability as parents to do hard things is a topic I've touched upon in the past. I mean, we've all started out by changing those poopy diapers and having middle of the night feedings. We've dealt with and continue to deal with sickness, runny noses, and far worse. We've managed through toddler tantrums and moved on to deal with childhood disappointments and teenage heartbreaks. We've balanced schedules, budgets, and routines. And look at us this year. Look at how we have responded to the pandemic. We've made adjustments and we've adapted. Yes, it's hard, but this is called strength. We don't always know what we have in us to do until we've been put in the situation to do it. Raising children in a media-saturated world means that talking honestly about the dangers of pornography needs to be a part of the parenting routine, whether we're comfortable with it or not. It's the situation that we've been given, and we have two options on how to face the challenge. We can either wait until our children are exposed and possibly pulled into porn's addictive web of lies, or we can start teaching our kids today, not only to recognize online dangers and know what to do about them, but also how to have a healthy respect for the body and their own budding sexuality. We can't really have one conversation successfully without the other. And if you've listened to the Media Savvy Moms podcast for a while, then you know my story. Starting these conversations with my kids took me way out of my comfort zone. When I asked one of my kids how comfortable he thought I was talking about things like sex and pornography, on a scale of 1 to 10, he gave me a 3. A 3. But I felt compelled to conquer the challenge. Unlike climbing the rope, I knew this was something I had to do, not just wanted to do. But the same principles apply. I learned that with routine and making incremental progress, that difficult things could become a whole lot easier. And once it clicks, it really clicks. Experts say the best way to stick to an exercise routine is to have an external motivation. So instead of planning to run each day X number of kilometers, sign up for an event that you want to participate in, like a 5K or 10K run. The motivation is not just to run, but to be in shape for the big day. Or the motivation could be social. In that case, you might want to join a team sport or find a group in your community, like a walking group, a cycling group, or Tai Chi in the park. #life goals. That same principle can apply for how to approach the topic of pornography with your children and teens. Think, A, how can I make this fun or at least mutually rewarding for myself and my child? And B, where can I find my community? Here's another secret. Those two are not mutually exclusive. Turning to your community, this community, you will have better, more rewarding, and possibly even fun experiences talking with your kids about tricky topics like pornography. I'm really excited to introduce a new way for you to interact in the Parents Aware and Media Savvy Moms community. I have been working diligently between episodes to finish the details of our first Parents Aware digital course, and I am loving how it has come together. I know I hinted at the content in episode 3.1. That's the one where I told my story and how I'm confidently moving into 2021. But back then, I was still on the fence about the course title, which is terribly ironic since the course is called, wait for it, Get Off the Fence, Moving from Stuck to Confidently Talking to Your Child or Teen About Pornography. This course consists of 6 lessons in total, and it is designed to be completed in a week, so it's very doable. And it's for anyone who wants help starting the conversation or improving the conversation with their kids about pornography. Because you're here listening, I know that this conversation is important to you. But knowing what to say and how to say it and when, that's where we tend to get stuck on the details and all sorts of worries. I get it. I've been there myself. I have gone through the process. I know all those anxious feelings, all the reasons and excuses we give ourselves for delaying the conversation. But just like climbing the ropes, you start by making incremental changes to build up your strength until you find your rhythm and the technique that helps you meet the challenges with success. This is a how-to resource that will help you approach the conversation with more ease. No matter where you are in your parenting, whether you've got preschoolers, older children, teens, or a combination of all of the above, think about the things you do now that at one time seemed beyond your abilities. I bet that list is pretty long. I'm here to tell you that you can talk to your kids about the harms of pornography too. And yes, you could do it on your own, but it is so much easier, so much more motivating, so much more fun knowing that you've got like-minded parents and a community here to cheer you on and celebrate your successes. When I first started to broach this topic in my home, oh, how I wish I could have turned to a community for support. Since then, it has been my vision and my goal to create such a community. To go back to my friend and her 2,000 crazy, insane reps, part of her reason for sharing this accomplishment with all of her friends was that she had enjoyed it so much. She had taken on the challenge with a friend, and she said the best part was making each other laugh while they were trying to get it done. Yeah, it was crazy hard, but it was also incredibly rewarding. Meeting the challenge of raising kids in a media-saturated world can be enjoyable. In fact, it needs to be. This is not just about warning kids about the harms of pornography. It's about strengthening our relationship with our kids. It's about creating a safe place to talk to your children and teens about things that are relevant to their day-to-day experience. Going outside your comfort zone may feel hard and exhausting at first, but keep the end goal in mind, a better, stronger relationship. Now that is something to celebrate. And for the challenge this week, I want you to take a moment to think about some of the hardest things you've done in your parenting career so far. You can either journal this or write it out in list form. These can be big challenges that are unique to your family only, or things that every parent goes through, but is still really hard. Once you've written a pretty good sized list, set it aside and consider how many of those challenges you met entirely on your own versus how many you sought help for and support from friends and family. If you did a list, then you can circle those items. If it's your journal, you can decide how you want to acknowledge that. I don't want you to scribble in your journal if you would like to keep it pristine. But my experience has been that it takes a village, or at least it takes a village to make raising kids more enjoyable. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So follow Media Savvy Moms on Instagram and join the conversation there. And if you want details of when Get Off the Fence, our new digital course, will be available, it's coming soon. So go to the show notes for this episode. That's episode 35. Fill out the form and you will be the first to hear when it's ready. At that point, we can all celebrate together. Until next time, keep talking.